you're supposed to learn both grouped data and ungrouped data. Okay, but the easiest one, which is easier to learn first, is always the ungrouped data. What do you mean by ungrouped? Okay, if you write a test and then I mark your weight, I transfer whatever mark to go to my mark sheet. We call that type of data ungrouped data. Okay, it's not put into groups, so we call it ungrouped data. It's just raw data as is. Okay, so we call it ungrouped. Now, with ungrouped data, it's very easy to calculate or to determine the measures of central tendency. Now, our measures of central tendency, there are 3 of them. Okay, we have got the mean, which in everyday life people call it the average. Okay, in everyday life people don't use the word mean, they use the word average. So, like the recent test you wrote, I'll add each of the marks, then divide by 30, because 30 is the number of people in the class now. Okay, so whatever answer I get there after dividing by 30, okay, it will be the mean. The word mean is the statistical name for average. But if you don't have any statistics knowledge, people just use the word average. Okay. Then we also have a second measure of central tendency, which is called the median. Now, the median is the value in a data set which lies in the middle of that data set. So if you arrange it in ascending order or in descending order, the middle value is what's called the median. Then we have got the mode. Now, your mode is the one which has got the highest frequency. Okay? Like, for example, I think for the test which you wrote recently, I think the mode was 2. Okay? For the highest mark, the mode was 2. Because there were 2 people who got the same highest mark. Okay? So, mode refers to a data set or a set of data which appears most frequently. Okay, so if you list all the data set, then the one which appears most often is what's called the mode. Now, it's interesting now about those 3. What's interesting about them? Can you pay attention at the back there? Can you pay attention? What's interesting about the measures of central tendency is that they are always close to each other. Okay, so if you calculate the average, it must not be too far away from the median. Also, if you determine the mode, if it exists, it must not be too far away from the mean and the median. Not every data set will have a mode. Okay? Not every data set will have a mode. Some data sets they won't have any mode, but all data sets have got a mean and a median. Okay? So we call them measures of central tendency. So your mean, it has got a formula, okay? And the notation used to calculate the mean, in fact the formula, okay, it's x bar, sorry, okay, let me pronounce this as x bar. Actually in statistics rather, this would be x with a bar on top. That's the notation for the mean. This would equal to the sum of all the values, and in this case your marks. We add all of them, then we divide by the total number of learners in the class. Okay, by the way, this sign here is called the sigma notation. Okay, you are going to encounter it next year when you do sequences and series in grade 12. And if you know how to use Excel, okay, it's on Excel. If you go to Excel, okay, let me just take you there. Let's see if I have got you. If you go to Excel, okay, let me just show you quickly. If I open an Excel workbook, okay, like this one here, if you go to the top right hand side, and here there is the sigma notation which says auto sum. So what you do is, because this is a spreadsheet, you enter all your data set in a vertical direction or even horizontally, right? Depending on how you want to do it, you can put a formula and then you get the sum. But you can click that and then it will give you the sum. So the way the notation sigma stands for sum. It means add. Okay. Right? So you'll learn about that more next year. That's the sigma notation. Yes, ma'am.
I repeated next day.
I represents each, look like in the case of the class, it represents Roma, Emma, Isma, Emma, Isma, Emma, Emma. So you can hear, so for this class there are 30 of you. So it will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to x30. Okay? So this I here is a subscript which whereby, well, maybe I should have added this because it's new to you, where I can add here and say where I is equal to 1, 2, up to 30 for this class. So we're adding all the marks, okay, up to the 30th percent. You get a sum, then you divide by the total number of people, which in this case your learners are 30 of you, divide by 30, then you get the mean. Now your calculator as well, okay, your advanced calculators that you now have, okay, I'm going to show you, they can calculate the mean for you. Okay, they can calculate the mean for you. I'll show you by the end of this lesson. Okay, so you can do it manually or you can use what? A calculator. No, you are 30 now. Are you at 31? Okay, don't worry about that. Maybe you are 31. Okay. Okay, you are 31, yeah. There's 2 people left. Okay, I've got another class where I think I've got 30 learners in that class. Okay, anyway, so in this case you are 31. Because initially you were 33, then 2 are no longer in the class. So it's 31. All right. Then the median, can I have your attention? The median. The median. Now your median is actually the middle value, right? You need to copy this a data set. Okay? Your median is the middle value of any data set after arranging the data set in ascending order or in descending order. You cannot find the median unless you rearrange the data set in ascending or descending order. The good thing is that nowadays we've got advanced computers and calculators. They can do it for us. Okay, so it's easier now to find the median. I'm talking about the median for ungrouped data. For grouped data is more complex, as we shall see later on. Okay, so if you want to find the median, the position of the median, if the data set is odd, okay, you can use just this formula here to help you to identify where the median is going to be. Okay, so the median position, by the way, the median is denoted by a capital letter Q. We call it Q2. Okay, Q2. It's also called the, okay, let's not go there. I'm going to talk about quartiles later. But Q2, that's the second quartile. Okay, so your median position, if the data set is odd, the position will be given by half n plus 1. What do I mean by this? If I give you a data set of 5 values, okay, like these 5 here, okay, if I want to find the median, okay, since the data set is very small, I can do it without this formula. Okay, you arrange your data set first. In this case, it's already arranged in ascending order. So you go to the middle value of the data set. Since they are 5, it means your median will be the third value, which will be 6. You want to use this formula, since there is a set of data with 5 values, you put 5 here, 5 plus 1 will give you 6 times a half will give you 3. So the third value will be the median. The problem comes if the data set is even. Yes.
So, for the median, is this just the number that's in the middle? So, for example, if you have a data set and the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 100, 101, 102, would you still have to say that the median is 3?
Yes. Because the definition of median is a middle value which lies in a data set when the data set has been arranged in ascending or
So
descending.
it's regardless of what the values are.
Regardless of what the values are. As long as you arrange it in ascending or descending order, the middle value, that's your median. Okay? So here, okay, can I have your attention, please? So if the data set is even, it becomes slightly complex. So if you use n over 2, this formula will help you to determine the position of the first value that you are going to use to determine the median. If the data set is even, you have to identify two values in the data set that are in the middle of that data set. You add the 2, divide by that 2. So if I've got 4 values like this, if I put here 4 over 2, I'll get a 2. So the second value will be 25. But the data set is even, so I need to find a value which is between the second and the third. Find that value, I have to add the 25 and the 30, then I'll divide by 2. Okay, so in a case where your data set is even, it's slightly more complex. You just have to find the two middle values, then calculate an average of those two. Okay, then we are going to talk about the case where you are dealing with grouped data later on. Then the mod. In ascending order. So we are gonna do 1A as an example, but the first thing is to arrange the data set in ascending order. Okay, so I have arranged it in ascending order. So this is the data set. So we have got 2, 5, 8, 4, 3, 4, 7, 6, 2, 4, 4. I have rearranged it in ascending order so that I can find my median manually. Can I have your attention? So that I can determine my median manually. So can I ask you, let's enter this data here into our calculators. So I'm going to take out my calculator. So this is my calculator. So you go to mod on your calculator. Can you please do that as well? Remember I told you that the grade 12, some of them, they failed the test, they couldn't use the calculator. So take me serious. Right? So you go to mod. Now, some of your calculators, as I told you before, they are not that good. And I wonder why you are so stingy that you don't want to buy a very good calculator. If you want a calculator, you must tell me. Okay, so that maybe I can ask your parents on your behalf. Yes, you want it. Yes, I'm telling you. So you go to mod. Now, for statistics, sorry girls, for statistics, in my case, I'll use option number 3. Okay? Then under option number 3, I'll get further options. Okay? It's important for you to know which option you are supposed to use. So in this case here, we have got what's called a univariate data set. Okay? Univariate. I hope you know that the word, the prefix uni means 1. You know that? I hope you know that. Bi means what? 2. So in statistics, we have got univariate data, which means one set of data. Then we have got bivariate data, which means 2 sets. Then we have got multivariate, which means more than 2. So here we have got a univariate case. So you go to number 1, which says 1 minus VAR. So you click there. Please don't be a spectator. Don't be a spectator. Then you go to number 1. Your calculator must show you on the screen a table to put a set of values, one set of values. Then let's enter the data set. Okay. Okay, by the way, I don't encourage killing people. No, I'm serious. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So you press 2, then you press enter. Okay, then another 2, you press enter. Okay, every time you put a value, you press enter, then 3. Okay, in my case, I'm pressing enter. In your case, you press equals. Okay, on your calculator. You must press equals. Then I've put 3 there, then 4. There are 4 4s, then the second 4, the third 4, the fourth 4, then 5, then 6, 7, 8. Now, this is interesting. Once you enter the last value of the data set, you must click this button which says AC, okay, to save it. Okay, so no, you just click on AC. Okay, now your calculator is busy now finding the median, finding the lower quartile, the minimum and the maximum, everything you need about that. Okay, the calculator is busy now. So I'll come back to that now. So I'm going to move away a little bit. Please don't clear your calculator yet. Don't clear. We are going to come back to that data set. So let's go back. So here, if I want to calculate the mean, remember I told you that the mean x bar is the summation of all the values divided by the total number of values. I can retrieve this summation of x, I can retrieve it from the calculator. Okay, so let's do that. Let's retrieve that summation of x. So you go back to your calculator, you press shift and then 1, shift and then 1, then you get 6 options. Right? The one we want is going to be number 3. Okay? Number 3 has got 2 options. He has got summation, the sum of the squares of those values. We don't want that. Okay? This summation x squared. Summation of x squared means your mark squared plus another person's mark squared. Then you add the sum of those. Now we don't want this. We want summation of x. So you click on number 2. It gives you 49. Okay, 49. So listen. So the mean is going to be equal to 49 over the total number of values. Now I can also retrieve what n is, but well, I think since this is your first time, maybe I have to show you where you find your n. You go back, press shift, then 1. Now,
good morning, King. Can I have your attention?
So let's carry on. So I was saying, once you retrieve the n, you just go to your data here. Okay. Okay, number 2. Yeah. Okay, you can go to, okay, you can go, okay, I made a mistake there. Let's go to VAR. Okay, let's press all clear. No, it's already there, don't worry. The data is already there. Okay, let's go to number 4. Because we want to I want to retrieve what n is. So number 1, then number 1, then number 4. So n is equal to what? To 11. Okay. Please do yourself a favor and pay attention. Okay, so we know that n is 11. So when you're writing a test, it's very important. You can get the mean directly from the calculator. I'm going to show you now. But if the question is 2 marks, you need to show this step where you divide the sum of all the values by the total number of values. You have to show this. Okay? You have to show this step. Okay? If we are lenient, then we can give you full marks for just writing the answer. So you need to know how to determine summation of x going forward. Okay? Now let's check with the calculator whether the mean is truly 49 over 11, which is 4,45. So if you take out your calculator, you go to shift, then 1, okay, then number 4, then number 2, that's x bar. Number 2, you press equals, right? It will give you 4,4545 recurring. Okay, not recurring, but just a few digits there. So round off to 2 decimal places, that will be 4,45. Okay, so your calculators, they can find the mean for you. Okay, they can find the mean for you. All right. Then the median. Can I have your attention? The median now. The median. I've already arranged the data set in ascending order. So, how many values do we have? We have got 11. So the median is going to be the 6th value of the data set. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, since the data set is even, my median is going to be the 6th value. Okay, how do I get that? Put 11 here. 11 plus 1 will give us 12 times a half. You get 6. So this 6 here is the position of the median in the data set. So that median is going to be a 4. Now to check this, the mean is 4,45. The median is a 4. The mode is the one with the highest frequency, which is the what? 4. Remember what I told you earlier, if you're paying attention, the 3 measures of central tendency, they're always close to each other. Always. They're always close. Right? But I also want to show you that the median, now I'm going to prove that your calculator is worth it to have or not. Okay? Okay? I'm going to prove to you that your calculator is worth it to have or not. So our median is 4. Let's see what the calculator says. So we go to shift, then 1. Do it, please, because I am doing it. This is exactly what it's good. Some of you are just sitting like this. Right? Then you go to number 6. Does your calculator have the option which says min max? Yes. Okay, if it has got, can you raise your hand if your calculator has got that? Okay, it looks like it's most of the class. Then let's go to number 6. Does your calculator have those 5 options?
Yes.
If your calculator has got, raise your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 of you out of 31. That's like 20% of the class. Okay? Alright. So what that means is, if your calculator does not show you those 5 options, you need to take the one that you have to Cash Crusaders. Okay? Cash Crusaders, Cash Converters. And then you can get a new one. Okay? So, the median is number 4. So, let's go to number 4, then you press equals. So the calculator knows that the median of the data set is truly a 4. The advantage of having this calculator is that when you have got ungrouped data, you cannot get the median wrong. And you can't get your lower quartiles wrong because the calculator can do it for you, your upper quartile as well, which is an advantage if you're writing a test or an examination, including your September test. If you don't have the calculator, it means when you do what's called the 5-number summary and draw the box and whisker, you are going to be forced to arrange the data set first, then determine the lower quartile, upper quartile, manually. We are going to do it manually. Whilst those who have good calculators, within a minute, everything they will be done. Okay? Yes?
When you insert the values into your calculator, do they have to be in ascending order?
No.
Or just any?
In any order, but the calculator was programmed to arrange the data set. Okay? That's quite, but that's where computer science comes in. Okay? All right. Okay, let's get on. Now, I want to show you something. Let's use GeoGebra to just check what GeoGebra says about this. Okay? I'm using GeoGebra now to do this. Okay, I've entered my data set. Can I have your attention? Now, so if I go to those three dots there, then I go to X statistics. Okay? Now it gives me this page. Okay, that drop down there. Now look at the mean X bar. It's the same one that we got. Okay, unfortunately I can't zoom in, but it's 4.4545 and then it can like the one you got from the calculator. Yes.
Why would you need sum of the squares?
Well, this is sometimes required if you are doing advanced analysis, like sample calculating what's called the correlation coefficient and sample statistics and all of that stuff. But that's more advanced statistics. Right. Okay. And then also this one, sample standard deviation. Now it's not part of your curriculum, but the standard deviation is part of your curriculum. I'll talk about it under grade 11. Right. The cardinality, that's the total number of values in the data set, which is 11. Can I have your attention? Then look here, your minimum is what? 2. The lower quartile, which is the median of the first half of the data set, that's 3. The median is 4. The upper quartile is 6. The maximum is 8. Unfortunately, it can't give us the mode. Okay? Then from these values, minimum up to maximum, okay, we call those values the 5-number summary. We use them to draw the box and whisker, which is what I'll probably do before the end of this lesson. Yes?
How do you split a data set into an upper quartile and a lower?
Your data set can be divided into 4 equal parts using what are called quartiles. Those quartiles, there are 3, but they divide the data set into 4 equal parts. Well, what does that mean? Okay, so if I give you a data set, the first thing you must find the median. The median divides a data set into 2 equal parts. So use your median to divide the data set into 2 equal parts. So you've got the lower half and the upper half. 2 different data sets. Right? Then the lower half, it has got a median. That median is called the lower quartile. So the lower quartile divides the first half of the data set into 2 equal parts. Then you have got an upper quartile, which also is the median of the second half of the data set. It also divides the data set into 2 equal parts. So you end up getting 2 because of the lower quartile and 2 because of the upper quartile. And then those 2 halves are also divided by the median. So in total, we have got 3 quartiles. They divide the data set into 4 equal parts. Okay? Now, those quartiles are the lower quartile, Q1. That's the notation used for the lower quartile, Q1. The 1 is a subscript. Then you have got your median, which is the middle quartile, if you want to call it that way. Or you can call it M, which is the notation used for the median as well, but Q2, that's the more normal notation. So Q2 is the median. And then Q3 is the upper quartile. So those are your 3 quartiles. And I think in another lesson after tomorrow, maybe I will talk about percentiles as well. So we also have another set of values that divide a data set into hundreds, and we call them percentiles, but that's for another day. But the quartiles are more important because they are part of what's called a 5-number summary, a set of 5 values that you need to draw what's called a box and whisker diagram or a box plot. Okay? The 5-number summary. Now, your 5-number summary consists of 5 values. You've got your minimum, your lower quartile Q1, your median Q2, your upper quartile Q3, and your maximum, which will be obviously that will be the largest value in the data set. So those 5 are called the 5-number summary. We need them to draw what's called a box and whisker diagram. So needed to draw a box and whisker diagram. Okay, so we need the 5-number summary to draw a box and whisker diagram. Okay, in America they call it a box plot. Okay, the data set is already arranged in ascending order. So it's easy to identify the minimum. The minimum is going to be a 1, then the maximum will be 51. But now, if I want to find the median, I need to know whether the data set is even or it's odd. Okay? So if you count the number of values here, it will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So the data set is even. Since it's even, the position of the median, it will be n over 2, which gives me 16 over 2, which is 8. What this means is that I need to also include the 9th value of the data set. So 24 is number 8, but since the data set is even, I need the 9th value of the data set. Then I have to find the average of these 2 values. So our median will be 24 plus 33 over 2, and that will give you 28 over 5. Now we can verify this by putting that data set in the calculator. So can you put it in your calculator? Okay, put the data set in the calculator. I'm going to zoom. All right. Then if you want to find Q1, okay, these 2 values, that is 24 and 33, they divide the data set into 2 equal halves. But the value between them is the one which divides the data set into 2 equal parts. So your first half of your data set, when I have 1 up to 24, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you look at the 3rd and the 4th, then you add them, you divide by 2, you get 12. Can you check with your calculator what your lower quartile is? 12, right? Then your upper quartile is the second half of the data set, starting from 33 all the way up to 51. Can you look, please? Can you look? Starting from 33 up to 51. So you have to identify the 4th and the 5th value of the second half of the data set. Okay, since they are the same here, it means our upper quartile is going to be 38. That's what I'm explaining here. You need to pay attention here. Okay. First, if you want to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. We have to find the median first. So we have a total of 16 values, right? And the two middle values are going to be 24 and 33. How did I get that? First, I determined the first one by dividing 16 by 2 and I got 8. So the 8th value is 24. Since the data set is even, I also need to include the 9th value. This is common sense now. So 24 plus 33, that will give you 28.5. This value here, 28.5, that's the median. It's between 24 and what? 33. So your first half of your data set to be from 1 up to 24, including the 24. And from 1 to 24, there are 8 values. So 8 divided by 2, you get 4. So you locate the 4th one. Since they are even, you also include the 5th one. So 9 plus 15 will give you 12. Okay? Then the second half of the data set, it starts with 33 all the way up to 51, including the what? The 33. So again, 8 divided by 2, you get 4. But the 5th one is exactly the same as the 4th one. Therefore, our upper quartile is going to be 38. So this is what you have to do if you don't have the calculator. You have to do it manually. And it can take you a bit of some time. Okay? So you must bear the consequences of not having the correct calculator. Okay? Listen. So this is your 5-number summary. Now we can draw a box and whisker.